Okay, thank you everyone. And I'm going to put it on speaker view. So tonight we have a very, very special guest, Christie Nix, all the way tuning in from Hawaii. We're not jealous at all that she's in Hawaii in isolation. Who else would like to be in isolation in Hawaii? Few hands. Anyways, Christie has been married to Peyton for 11 years. They live in Hawaii. And she is a national marketing director. And I believe you have been with our company for, is it close to 9 years, if I remember? 9 years. She's part of our Shining Star organization. We love her so much. You probably would have seen her famous superhero costumes recently on our Shining Star Regional. And she's always smiling. She always has this amazing attitude. And we just love her so much. And we only got 7 minutes of Christie on the training. And we were like, we need more of Christie. We need more of your presentation. So I'm going to turn it over to Christie, and she's going to talk about bringing more joy into your life. And what a perfect time to be talking about this. Thank you, dear.
Yes, I mean, oh my gosh, it is the perfect time to be talking about finding joy. But first, shout out to Angela. You rock, sister. The bee's knees. How cute is that? I love it. So congratulations. Yes, it's a really interesting time to be talking about finding your joy. And, you know, I'll be honest, I am feeling a lot of joy during this lockdown because I am in Hawaii. And I have this incredible gift that was given to me 9 years ago, which is this business and this product. So, but I want to be really real with you guys and have the conversation first to say, I'm looking especially for the leadership or the veterans who've been in this business. I'm looking at all of you right now. I don't have it on speaker view. I want to see your faces. If you've ever felt like you've lost your joy in this business, please honestly raise your hand. Okay, thank you. I want you to be real and be able to share with people that it does happen. This is an opportunity for growth, and it's an opportunity for us to constantly reinvent ourselves because we're all in a reinventing stage right now, but there's a lot of people, whether they're in Juice Plus or not, who are experiencing some anxiety. There are people who don't know what's happening next. They're not in a good position where some of us are. And I think it's a really good time to be that light, to bring the joy and help people. And if you're familiar, I'm going to share my screen with you guys. I'm not sure if you're familiar with the emotional scale of guidance, but I want to show that to you real quick. And then I'm going to stop sharing my screen for a second. But the emotional scale of guidance you can find on Esther Hicks. And basically the idea is, or Abraham Hicks, also who Mitra talks about, it's kind of the same thing. But it's a scale, and everything is a vibration. All of us humans, whatever your table that you're sitting at right now, has a vibration. But we have the ability as human beings to raise our vibration. And the more we raise it, the more contagious we get. The more people want to be around us. And this is your time to be that light for people. There are so many people that are down here at powerless and guilt and insecurity, and they don't know how to even get to this next step to joy and freedom and love and empowerment. And the reality is, it's not like jumping over a mud puddle and getting to the next position. It's really about just taking one step. How can I just get one step up this staircase, up this spiral to get to the next emotion? And I think a lot of that times it takes some reflection. So I want to have you reflect. If you have a notepad or something, take a moment to write this down. I want you to imagine as if I was getting on this call right now to say, bad news, guys. We are not making any more Juice Plus. Everything is being shut down right now. Sarah, look at your face. So think about for a moment what you really feel. On the emotional scale of guidance, where did that send you to think about what it feels like to no longer have these products? This question was asked to me and a whole bunch of people when I was at a Juice Plus regional years ago, when it was starting to learn how to write our Juice Plus story. And I remember thinking, oh my God, I'm going to have to buy a juicer because there's no way, even as a crazy vegan, I'm going to get as many fruits and vegetables that Juice Plus is providing me. But there was a woman that was sitting at the table and she broke into tears. Just the thought of imagining what she would be without if she didn't have Juice Plus. And I think that we could really do the same thing given the scenario of what is going on in the world with COVID-19. Now I'm going to take it a step further, and I want you to imagine now me also saying the Juice Plus business is done. Y'all have to go find out something new. You got to go reinvent yourself. There is no more Juice Plus business. And that question wasn't asked of us when we were at the regional, but I am really coming to face with how blessed I am that 9 years ago, when I had come into this business, when our economy was going into a recession, how grateful I am that I said yes. How grateful that I am that I was the only person that went to conference. I was a one-man band. My upline didn't even go to conference in Long Beach, but I went and I heard one person share something that changed my life. And I'm here because of her today. I'll get to that. But first, I want to make sure that I can guide you to find your joy, because there's going to be a time where you're going to lose your joy in this business. This is an incredible business. This is the best thing you can ever find, but you are still human. Things still happen. And I want to make sure that you can remember how to find that joy for you. So we're going to do something called Ikigai, not like Ikigai, like a guy in a green Speedo, but Ikigai. And I learned this from Dr. Cindy Scholes, who's on Mitra's team. And the idea of Ikigai is that it's a reason for being. We all have that. We're all created for a special thing, and we all come to this business with so many different interests and skills and techniques. And the idea is, though, if you are living your Ikigai, you are alive, you are lit up, you are contagious. And it's all in this center right here. So if you're looking at, if my mouse would work, it's kind of not working. All right, so just look in the center of this. It's like a Venn diagram with 4 bubbles in it. And what I want to do is go through this one by one for you. And I'm not going to give you the time. Usually I like to give it a minute or two so that we can like fill it in. But since you guys are all in lockdown, I'm going to trust that you're going to have 10 minutes where you can fill in your own circles, okay? All right, so the first thing I want you to think about or jot down as I'm brainstorming with you is, what do you love? What do you love? What is it that, outside of Juice Plus, it doesn't have to be just Juice Plus, but what do you love? What have you never gotten bored of? You could do all day long. In fact, you've done it so long that like all day long, you've forgotten to eat, you've forgotten to go to the bathroom, you've forgotten to have water. You could just lose yourself in that time. What's something that you've always been drawn back to, something that you want to do? And again, what's in your flow? Thinking about what do you love, and just imagine whether it's a list, if you don't want to just be like linear, or if you want to draw a circle. If you want to draw 4 circles that kind of connect, that might be, that might be best, but it's up to you. Okay, next thing is, what are you good at? What skills have you been spending time to practice? What's something that people always come to you for help with? Where they're like, Nicole, I need to know how to own my sparkle. How do I transition into the gorgeous gray movement? I'm gonna go to Nicole. In fact, I have 2 little grays that keep sticking out, and I keep pulling them out, Nicole. I wanna see if can I just keep pulling them out or what? So I'm gonna go to her for that. And is there anything that you want to be good at that you're not, but you just can't stop thinking about it? So what are you good at? Next thing is, what can you get paid for? So maybe in this time, everyone is connected going through this lockdown. Maybe you did lose your job. Maybe you have Juice Plus as a backup, but maybe you need to like also get a side hustle in or whatever. What can you be paid for? What would you be doing if you didn't have your current job? Is there something that you'd want to be doing? Is there something that would also inspire you to help impact people? Thinking about that. What do you want to get paid for? And what does the world need? We are so connected right now. I think that, the answer is just so obvious, and we have 3 ways of helping people. We can help them grow their own food. We can help them support their immune system. We can help them have financial independence. 4 things. We can bring them into a community. There's so many things. We are the answer to everything. But what are some other things that you think that the world needs outside of that? And maybe it's not just the whole world in perspective. Maybe it's your household right now. Maybe it's your neighborhood. Maybe it's your small town. But what are some things that the world absolutely needs? And then how do you get to create a positive effect around those people? Because vibrationally, we want to be operating at the highest vibration, which is love and freedom and joy. We want to be there because things just happen so much easier for us than that. So now what you want to do, I'm going to go back, is you want to merge all your circles together. And when you find what your Ikigai is, that state of being, that flow, that's where you're at. That's where you start. So I want to talk real quick about duplication, and I feel like I need to talk to you guys again instead of sharing my screen. But I remember when I first got into this business, someone told me, you've got to be duplicatable. Well, great. What does that mean? And for part of it, for me, it was kind of like, I saw these Juice Plus videos that Juice Plus had, and I kind of thought they were terrible. My background is film. I know a lot about aesthetics. I know a lot about storytelling, and I wanted to create my own videos. And the gentleman who was coaching me said, no, 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 don't do that. You never reinvent the wheel. And it felt like I was completely stifled. It was like, don't be you. You just follow the system. Well, thank you, Nicole Scott, for introducing bank code to us, because here I am, this bleeding heart action, and somebody's telling me to only follow a system and not be unique, not be me. That's not your ikigai. That's going to take your joy away. I built slower because I allowed someone to tell me to not be myself. Big, big deal. How you get people as customers and how you get people as representatives is not the duplication part. It is the opportunity, because people are doing things, they make a decision because they want to buy from people they like, know, and trust. They are buying you as their sponsor. They are buying you if they're going to buy Juice Plus from you. You have to be you, because nurturers don't like a fake. They can smell it from a mile away if you're a fraud. So I want to emphasize, please be you and use that ikigai to figure this out. So I did this ikigai exercise with Dr. Cindy Scholes. And what she did was she had us fill it in. And it was more about like, what is your passion? What do you want to do? But I realized that my ikigai to get me re-energized in this business was to actually create networking events using bank code in my community with business owners. Again, thank you, Nicole Scott. It's profound how a few years later I finally get it. But when I started to think about what do I love, I love building community. What do I think, what am I good at? What do people come to me for? Building community. What does the world need? Building community. And what can I get paid for is I can build community by giving something that they can teach to help people communicate better around the world. But what I can also do is I can teach them Juice Plus by utilizing bank code as my way to educate them and speak their codes with every single blueprint, action, nurture, and knowledge. So it completely transformed my passion and my business. But now I want to share a video with you, and it's not very long, and I promise it's worth it. Hold on just a second. I swear I had it up. Okay, yeah. Okay, and this is also a Dr. Cindy Scholes. So she's just amazing if you don't follow her. She shared this with us too.
These are roughly 28,835 jelly beans. I counted out 500 of them and used those to weigh the rest. In this pile, there's one jelly bean for each day that the average American will live. You might have more beans in your life, or maybe less, but on average, this is the time we have. Here's a single bean. It's your very first day, a special day, but kind of a rough day on everyone involved. Add 364 more and you have the first year of your life. Now, for a sense of scale, here are your first 15 years, 5,475 days, which brings us to the threshold of adulthood. And at that moment, this is the time that we have left. And this is, on average, what we will do with all that time. We will be asleep for a total of 8,477 days. If we're lucky, some of that time we'll be sleeping next to someone we love. We will be in the process of eating, drinking, or preparing food for 1,635 days. We'll be at work, hopefully doing something satisfying, for the equivalent of 3,202 of those days. 1,099 days will be spent commuting or traveling from one place to another, maybe a little bit more if you live in LA. On average, we will watch television in one form or another for a total of 2,676 days. Household activities like chores and tending to our pets and shopping will take another 1,576 days. And we will care for the needs and well-being of others, our friends and family, for 564 days. We'll spend 671 days bathing, grooming, and doing all other bathroom-related activities. And another 720 days will go to community activities like religious and civic duties, charities, and taking classes. After we remove all those beans, this is what remains. This is the time that we have left. Time for laughing, swimming, making art, going on hikes, text messages, reading, checking Facebook, playing softball, maybe even teaching yourself how to play the guitar. So what are you going to do with this time? How much of it do you think you've already used up? If you only had half of it, what would you do differently? What about half of that? How much time have you already spent worrying instead of doing something that you love? What if you just had one more day? What are you going to do today?
So what are you going to do with your jelly bean? We don't know how many jelly beans we have until we get out of this lockdown. We don't know how many jelly beans we have left in this life. I encourage you to find your ikigai to make those jelly beans worth it. This is our time to figure out how we really want to impact people. And I told you that I went to a conference and there was someone who impacted my life. I'm already like tearful just thinking about it. Okay, I guess I have to start at the beginning, just a second. I hope you know this face. If you don't, go find her. Melissa Kite Quayle was at my first conference. I didn't know what national marketing directors were. I thought she was one when she spoke on stage, but she was a sales coordinator, a senior sales coordinator, and she had just lost her husband. Her husband was young, they had children, and he had cancer. Found out the doctors had said that he had probably had cancer in his body for 10 years and it just went undetected. Melissa Kite stood on the stage talking about how she had people over to her house after at the funeral, and one of her friends was a Juice Plus representative who gave her a hug, said, "Melissa, I'm so sorry for your loss." She walked out Melissa's house, walked down the steps, and something told her she needed to turn back around and go tell Melissa about Juice Plus the night of her husband's funeral. She told Melissa what it was, and she basically said, "Now's not the time, but I have something that you need to know about because you are the single mother of these children and your immune system needs you now more than ever." Melissa said, "How long have you known this for?" And the girl told her she'd known her for 8 years. And Melissa said, "Why didn't you tell me?" So I want to read this out loud. There is a burning thing that goes on inside me that says, why didn't someone tell me? Why didn't someone? You guys can read it for yourself. Why didn't someone love me enough to share Juice Plus? Why couldn't they just ask me? They never even gave me an option. I don't want anybody to come to me and say, "Melissa, how could you know about something so amazing and never tell me?" And then she quoted Ambrose Redbourne, "Courage is not the absence of the fear, but the judgment that something is more important than fear." Her message catapulted me into talking to people about Juice Plus because I didn't want to sleep with that on my conscience without telling people. And somewhere along the way, I had forgotten about this message. I had forgotten about the why. And then, this was in 2012 in July at home. I filmed this video. And I got this sense that that was probably going to be the last time that I saw my dad. It wasn't. I went to his funeral a couple months later. And I drew a line in the sand. And I said I was going to build my Juice Plus business and help as many people as possible have more time with their family. And my team had national marketing director who went sales coordinator at NMD in 1 year because I had a why. I was telling everyone about it. And then there was a point where I lost my joy. I got too comfortable. And I want to thank COVID-19 for waking my ass up and realizing that there are too many people that are sitting in the house afraid because their immune system is not strong that I could have impacted. I read about a little girl who has leukemia at age 3. And if I would have told that little girl's mom about Juice Plus, where would we be? My invitation is every single one of you right now, figure out your jelly beans. Figure out your ikigai. And be your best damn self, because people are going to buy from you And you are going to impact people because you are your best damn self. Thank you for being on this journey with me. I can't imagine if my business was closed down and I didn't know Nicole Scott and this amazing team that you have. I immediately think of my team, but I think about the friendships I never would have had. And I think about when I hear people say the older they get, the less friends they have, and I call bullshit on that. The more older, the more years we have, the more influences and good people we should have in our life. If you're brand new into this business, I want to welcome you into more than a job, but this is an incredible community. Thank you so much for making some time for me to share my story with you. Does anyone have any questions?
You can definitely open it up. Maybe what we'll do is we'll stop the recording now, Nikki, and then we'll